Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you as always for tuning back in. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Layla, the Lenormand reader, and I use the amazing Lenormand deck. Download your starter guide so you can discover and master this amazing deck. Welcome to a new weekly reading. We've got my own deck today, the Silhouettes deck, and we are doing an hourglass. So let's go ahead and start with you, Aries. Let's draw your cards and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aries, here is your hourglass. It's looking pretty neutral for the most part, although we have the beautiful key and flowers. They are, however, on the left-hand side of the hourglass. On this side, we have the clouds. The clouds is a little bit complicated, but in view of the other cards, there is a very strong sense of stability and a sense of being in a peaceful and calm situation. So the key and moon is great for an offer. You could get an opportunity or something opens up. And the flowers and clouds can actually bring up creativity, or you need to figure out something about it. But the flowers is pretty bright, and so is the key. So the clouds is not very dramatic, and really in and of itself, it is not a very dramatic card. But it sounds like you need to think a little bit about this opportunity, maybe brainstorm a few ideas around it. Now, the lily and tree is beautiful for stability, longevity, peace, and also a sense of strength. This is a pair that gives you a lot of confidence. And the lily is also a card of career sometimes and your life path in general. And certainly with the tree and also with the anchor here, it suggests that you want to stay on the path that you're on. And also you want to take it easy and slow down. And whatever you do, keep the big picture in mind. I have to also say, Aries, that we could be looking at your health. This is very much a combination of well-being and taking it easy and slowing down. The key with the anchor and clouds is a lovely combination for having a sense of confidence and also for figuring things out. Trust yourself to solve the problems, to figure out the issues, or, this question around the opportunity that comes through. You need to figure out a few things about them, and you definitely want to stop and think about this before you do anything else. You will find answers. The flowers with the book and moon is lovely. This is a beautiful line, Aries. It is wonderful for creativity. We have two very creative cards here, the flowers and moon. And with the book, it adds to this because the book is also a card of reading, writing, researching. So by extension, it is a card of creativity. But the book is also associated with offers, especially when it comes with the moon. And with the flowers, it seems that you'll have this opportunity or something will open up, just like what we saw with the key and moon. So these are lovely cards that suggest an offering or an opportunity, but the hourglass overall is, while it's celebrating this opportunity, it encourages you not to jump the gun or make a quick decision, and instead you want to figure some things out first. The key and flowers is a confirmation of what is ahead. This is great for success, and again, this idea of the potential or the opportunity is highlighted. So this comes your way. The book with the anchor is very much a suggestion of checking on all of the details. Aries, you want to double check everything. You want to make sure that you are confident in your decision and in your information. And so the clouds with the moon suggest that you want to think things through. The clouds can bring up the dark side of the moon. So it's important that if there's any shadow aspects or anything hidden, you want to bring it out into the open, Aries. This is why we have the lily and tree. They ask you to slow down. And we have the anchor and book. They ask you to double check all of the details and double check all of the information. The key with the lily, book, tree, and clouds. This is lovely for development and growth. It sounds like there's a bit of learning and information that you need to gather. So take your time with this. This is going to be part of what you need in terms of inputs in order to find a solution. And the flowers with the lily, anchor, tree, and moon is a very beautiful line, Aries. This is great for growth, maturity, evolution, and positive things unfolding. So overall, Aries, this is a really calm and quiet and peaceful set of cards that we're seeing for you. They're great for your maturity, your growth, and your sense of confidence, and they bring an opportunity that you want to think through. It seems to be aligned with everything in your life, but you still want to think through it. Now, the cards are flexible. They can apply in different contexts, although I'm not really seeing anything related to a relationship or people cards. It seems to be more about you, your growth, your personal development, your well-being. So focus on this, Aries. Take your time with decisions. Look for ways to grow your creativity and to build on what you've done. And if an opportunity comes your way, think about it, think it through, and don't make a quick decision. And also slow down and enjoy the process. I would say this is also a good takeaway. So let me know what you make of these ideas, Aries. Let me know how they applied in your context. I always look forward to your thoughts and insights. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Taurus, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Taurus, here is your hourglass, and this is quite a set of cards because we have the whip and scythe. These are quite a handful. This is typically a very challenging combination, but what's curious about your hourglass is that we have two very, very bright cards. We have the clover and the star, and these are two of the luckiest and brightest cards of the deck, and they clearly help change the situation here or help overcome it. In another sense, it's possible that what is falling through in the top row is actually to your advantage. So the ring and lily, this points to a relationship, usually a committed relationship, a long-term relationship. And the lily often suggests this idea of a longer-term commitment. The lily is also a card of work and career, so this could be your involvement or your work or something that you'd been committing to for a while. Now, the house and scythe is a change of residence in the most straightforward sense. It's also a change of location, whether it's your residence or not, and it could be other sorts of changes. It could also be separation from people because the house is often associated with people, usually family members, but it could be anyone who's in your closer circle. So from the get-go, the scythe is going to play a role of separation. This is very much confirmed in the top row. By themselves, the ring and scythe have to do with divorce, and on top of them we have the whip. So this is clearly a separation. And the woman in clover, this can refer to the relationship that you're parting from, or it could represent you. And regardless of how it goes, the clover is a lucky card. It is a card of protection, and in the context of the changes that we're seeing here, it could be telling you that you know you need to do this, you know you need to separate, so let it go and make this change. Now, the house with the star and lily is wonderful for feeling good where you are, feeling good in your space, growing your sense of confidence and building on what you've built so far. What I'm feeling here, Taurus, is that there could be someone who gets out of your life, or you make deep changes in your situation that prove to be very relieving. So someone leaves your space, which creates a sense of happiness. So it's like, finally, you've got your space for yourself. Finally, the space feels good. Finally, we don't have this person or this situation in your space. So this is what we're seeing. And the lily is great for your sense of well-being as well. Now we have the ring and house here, which points to family relations or closer relations normally. And it's a bit like the ring and lily that we saw with the two diagonals, with the first set of corner cards. And then we have the whip and star and the scythe and lily, clearly suggesting that there's a fallout and a separation. And so again, we're seeing that this could be the right thing to do. You might need to let go, you might need to make a change, and you need to free yourself from someone or something. And this is the right thing to do. So even if it feels turbulent, even if the separation is a bit difficult, it sounds like it's what you need to do. The ring with the woman, star, clover, and scythe, this pair here, clover and scythe, is often a combination of the lucky break. And so you could get a breakthrough with the support of someone or a release. And the woman with the a house and whip, and then the clover and lily is great for overcoming the challenges and healing and finding yourself in a more peaceful space because of the lily. So it's very clear that there is a fall through, there is a change, there is probably a separation as well. It's likely involving another person, but on the other side of this challenge, we see some very positive outcomes. So what plays out for you exactly, I feel, has flexibility, Taurus. It could mean that you part from someone. It could mean that you argue with someone. It could mean that there's a problem that you and this person need to solve. And it could generally mean that there's a shakeup that needs to happen in order to sort of clarify the atmosphere. This is what we're seeing in the cards. So don't fear this. Don't shy away from it. Let it come through, deal with it, and confront it. And you'll find that it creates more room and it creates some kind of liberation. Now, the cards are flexible in terms of context. We have the ring and house, which can bring up closer relationships like family. But it can also apply in other contexts. So we could be looking at your group of friends or a circle that you're part of or colleagues at work and so on. So really the ring and house are highlighting closer connections and not necessarily family. So it could be family for you. It could be another context for others. You let me know in the comments, Taurus, who the people were implied and what this shakeup was about. And hopefully it does create the sense of liberation and a sense of well-being as a result. As always, I look forward to your thoughts if you're willing to share. The very best of luck with the week, Taurus. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Gemini, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Gemini, here is your hourglass and it's looking generally neutral. There is progress. It might be a bit slow, but you're still able to step into something new this week. So we've got the Child at the end on the right-hand side of the hourglass, and this is quite a telling card relative to the other cards in here. So the Garden and Child is a new environment, and the bear with the dog or dog and bear suggests an important new connection or an important friend or someone supportive. So it's clear just from the corner cards, Gemini, that you're in for a new relationship or that there are supportive people who step in. In the middle line here, we have the Mouse and Rider. This is a nice combination for progress and moving forward, mainly because of the Rider, but the Mouse is a bit slow. So it can cause some speed bumps and some little issues here and there. At the same time, Gemini, the Mouse is not dramatic. It's just little annoyances here. Take care of them while you see them, when you see them. And don't ignore them, because the main warning of the Mouse is that if you leave issues, if you ignore them, they can grow into something bigger. In this context, I think it's really about slowing down. Now, the Garden with the Cross and Bear suggests an important meeting, and I would say double that, because both the Cross and Bear make things important. So this could be a significant meeting. You could also be put to the test, Gemini. Maybe there's competition. Maybe you have to prove yourself. So that is possible. And this could be part of the challenges that we see with the Mouse. Otherwise, this is an important meeting. So be sure to show up. This could also involve things like a promotion or influential people and making an impression. So take this seriously, Gemini, and prove yourself as best you can. Now, the dog with the Mouse and Child is another confirmation of something new because of the Child. And in this case, we have the Dog and Woman, which points to a relationship or a friendship. So again, it's pretty clear that there's someone whom you meet, and it could be someone you don't know, or it could be someone who moves you in a new direction. The Garden and Dog is again this meeting. The Cross and Woman, again, highlighting the importance of this person. And the Bear and Child suggests an important new beginning. So there's some significant steps happening for you this week, Gemini. Again, it's not in the perfect path forward, but that's fine. You're still making some tangible progress. And it's very clear that this meeting or this person or this connection is quite significant. So again, Gemini, take this seriously. The Garden with the Mouse and Woman, Rider and Bear Similar ideas here. There's an important meeting with this person. It involves big steps. There can be some mishaps, or maybe the meeting is not perfect, but again, there's still progress, Gemini. So keep this in perspective. And similarly here, we have the dog, mouse, and cross. You could be put to the test. You could have some challenges that you face with this person or in this meeting or as you move forward. But with the rider and child on this side and the bear and child and really all of the cards, how they unfold from left to right, they clearly suggest that you're going to make some progress. So move ahead, Gemini. These imperfections or the little bumps or the little issues that come up, keep them in perspective because overall things are moving forward. Now, in terms of context, we don't see from the cards if this is a personal relationship, a work relationship, family related, or something else. The cards are flexible and highlight the dynamic. So the context depends on your situation. You let me know, Gemini, how they played out for you. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with this. Remember to show up. Thank you for tuning in as always. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Cancer, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Cancer, here is your hourglass. It's looking pretty neutral, but there can be significant changes, and we have the lovely star in the cards. So there's a bunch of different cards here. Let's put them all together. Let's tie these combinations. The star and bear could be a major wish materializing and major steps happening. The bear can also represent a person, and usually it suggests someone who's supportive and protective. So obviously with the beautiful star, the positive aspects of the bear are going to come through. The house and ship can point to a move, or you could be traveling somewhere and exploring places. So this is definitely encouraged. The woman in cross points to someone important. Maybe you need to make a decision in relation to this person, but I think it's mostly about someone who's relevant to you. Maybe some decisions are in her hands and out of yours. And so it can be about waiting on this person to come through. And also you want to take her into account. Now, the star with the tower and ship is lovely in any context. This is great for results coming in, your long-term investments materializing, something from the past moving forward. It can also be a great combination for growth and expansion. So any way you look at these cards, they are great. The tower is also a card of things that are related to legal, admin, official government, and things like that. So if you'd been working through something in relation to these areas, then you can look forward to them moving forward. And we were saying with the woman in cross, there's maybe a pending decision, so it can tie into this office situation, and certainly with the star and ship, things move forward. Now, in the bottom here, we have a powerful message. We have the house, coffin, and bear, and it points to an ending. It can also point to an absence. So we saw the house and ship in these corners, and here we see the house, coffin, and bear. So maybe you're going away for some time, or maybe someone else is going away for some time. Now, the star and house is great for success, usually around the home, but also in any other context. The tower and coffin could be a long time waiting, and it could also be a phase that finally comes to an end. And then we have the beautiful ship and bear that points to an important direction, important journey, maybe traveling in a physical sense. This is quite a big deal because the bear makes everything big. We also have the cross next to the ship, the cross next to the bear. The cross adds that sense of weight to this activity. So these are big steps forward. You need to let go. You're going to get the green light and you're going to move ahead. So it could be a big change potentially. Now, the star with the woman and coffin into the cross and ship points to an important journey. And maybe it's something you'd been waiting on, or perhaps she's the one going away, or perhaps she represents you. It's kind of flexible who she represents, but we're definitely seeing this journey that you need to undertake. And again, it could have been a long time waiting, and now you need to move ahead. The house with the woman and tower, cross and bear here, really highlighting the importance of this connection. We have all 4 cards, Cancer, that can highlight the idea of someone like a boss, someone more experienced, a parent, someone of influence, a manager. You know, all 4 cards here around the woman suggest this kind of person. So you certainly have her support and things move forward and you're able to get the green light, but it's also possible, Cancer, that you're in a position to grow, to get a promotion, to step up, and to really up your game. So it's looking really exciting in this regard. There could be some important decisions, certainly when it comes to endings, but you definitely need to bring things to a head, to a conclusion. You're going to get the support you need, the push you need, and so move ahead and don't stall, Cancer. Now, in terms of context, the cards are again flexible. It could be a personal relationship that is very supportive. It could be a decision maker who gives you the green light with your projects and so on. So the same idea applies depending on the context. You let me know, Cancer, how it played out for you, who this person was, what these changes were, and if it makes sense, like how big were these changes? I'd be interested to know if you're willing to share. So very best of luck with the week, Cancer. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Leo, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Leo, here is your hourglass, and it's kind of straightforward and it's a bit curious because there's a bit of a mishmash of cards. But as I was laying out the hourglass, it just sort of appeared what this is about. It's clearly pointing to news and information or feedback that you're waiting on. We have the book in the middle and the letter here. And we have a bunch of cards here that point to this idea that you weren't hearing back and you weren't getting the feedback and that things were slow. Now, the good news is that you probably get the feedback because of the star, but the bad news is that it might not be the feedback or the news that you want. So we see this in like different combinations. The letter and whip is typically bad news. So news that doesn't answer what you were hoping for. It can be upsetting news. It could be news that causes confusion or messes things up a little bit. And it could also come as a shock. So from the get-go, the news isn't so great. On the other hand, we have the star and the tower and star. Now, it can point to better news, but it makes more sense that this tower points to the long time that you'd been waiting, which we see here, and with the book. And the star is a great card for healing, so it's clear that this waiting phase comes to an end. So like I said, the good news is that the news comes through. The bad news is that the news isn't so great. The mouse with the book usually points to misinformation, lack of information, and gaps, lack of confidence in the information. It can potentially be misleading or intentionally misleading. And so this could be part of the bad news, but also the mouse and book, especially with the tower and the clouds, can mean that this has been dragging, that it wasn't coming through. And the book is closed in my deck, so it tends to represent a mystery and things being closed off. So again, there's this idea that things have been dragging. Now, the letter with the lily and star can point to good news. It can point to an opportunity. The lily is a card of career and life path, and it's potentially also about health. So there is some good news in this regard. But again, it's likely that the news isn't so great, and we see this again with the star. But the good news is that the news finally comes through. Now, in the bottom row, the tower and clouds, again, there was this phase. You're thinking about it. What's going on here? There's no clarity. And then the whip, which is a card of aggression, really, and it's a speedy, fast card. It helps break through this pending state that we see with the tower and clouds. So it really puts an end to it. So again, we're seeing these messages that this waiting time or waiting for the feedback is materializes, but that the news isn't so good. It can be a little bit perturbing. The letter and tower can be official news, legal processes, administration, and those sorts of areas. And it can also, again, suggest this time or something that you'd been working on for some time. The lily and clouds, like we saw, brings confusion, issues, and complications. You could be questioning the situation, and there can be issues in general that affect the feedback. And then we've got the star and whip. So the thing about these two cards is that they are equal. The star is very positive and the whip is very challenging. So when they come together, there's sort of a tug between them. So we usually fall back on the order of the cards and we see the whip after the star, which really compromises a little bit your hopes. So again, the news comes through. There's an end to this waiting time, but it might not be what you were hoping to hear. The letter with the mouse, clouds, book, and star is a more positive combination because we have the star at the end. There is a bit of a, like the clouds with the mouse and the book, it's all of these question marks and these doubts that you need to clarify with the star. You probably do clarify them to some extent. And also getting feedback is better than no feedback. So this is where the upside is. The tower with the mouse and lily into the book and whip is another indication of the challenging news we see with the book and whip. And again, there's this element that things were on hold or pending and it wasn't clear where things were heading. And the whip, sort of cracks this and, it moves things forward. So overall, Leo, the cards are focused on news, communication, follow-up, feedback, and there's a mix of cards. So it's a good thing that you're able to move forward. There could be partially good news, but there are also challenges. So work on this as best you can, and maybe you need to do some following up in order to kick it forward. That is possible. We're not seeing that you shouldn't. We're not seeing cards like the snake or the coffin where, it's best to put things on hold and wait. You might need to do a bit of kicking here to move it forward. And again, when it does, which hopefully it will, it might not be the news that you totally want to hear. There could be some gaps, some issues that you still need to move forward. Still, it's great for, at least taking some steps. Now, in terms of context, Leo, the cards are flexible. The tower, lily, these tend more towards work, official, professional kind of area. So it's most likely in this area, but it can be in other contexts as well because both cards are flexible in their own right. So you let me know in what context they played out, Leo. Let me know what was the news that wasn't coming through that finally came through, and if it was satisfactory or there were issues and now you have to continue working on it, but at least you got it going to some extent. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in, and until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Virgo, welcome to your weekly reading. We are doing an hourglass, like we said. Let's draw your cards and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Virgo, here is your hourglass. It's lovely. It's a new beginning, a new chapter, a new direction. Something new is opening up. It could also be a new relationship because we have the woman in the cards. So notice the child and road right in the center. This is a new direction in the plainest of terms. It's a very straightforward combination, a new path, a new direction, a new venture, something new is opening up. The woman and book can mean someone you do not know yet because the book is often a card of mystery. So what is this new thing? It could be a new relationship, a new friendship, a new colleague, a new connection. The context is flexible as we're going to recap at the end. The heart and moon is lovely for positive feelings. These are great calm, peaceful, loving vibes. There's possibly some attraction. The chemistry is nice. It's a really soft and gentle combination. So it's looking really good for the relationship. The woman with the stork and moon can be an invitation, a gathering, doing things together. So some activities here. The moon is also a card of appreciation. So again, we're seeing some good vibes. And it is also a card of offers. So that's why I was suggesting an invitation. The heart with the star and book is beautiful. The heart and star is very much about wish fulfillment. The star by itself is about wish fulfillment. But with the heart, it's certainly something that makes you happy, and it's very loving. And with the book here, there can be a happy revelation, or perhaps feelings haven't been revealed yet. So things are still in the works, they're forming, but it's looking like they're on the right track. And this, there's some really positive and sweet things here, going on. The woman and heart is a nice, kind connection, nice person here. The stork and star is great for moving forward in a desired direction. Things are materializing in the way that you want, and it's really happening in a positive way overall. The moon and book is an invitation and an offer in a very straightforward sense. So these are really nice cards. It's looking like you get an offer. It could be a new relationship, a new direction. The person who's involved in the situation, whether the new thing is the relationship with them or they are someone who helps you with this new venture. So regardless of this setup, the cards are really bright. The woman with the child and star into the road and moon is a wonderful relationship, a wonderful direction, clear encouragement for you to pursue this, Virgo. And the heart with the child and stork into the road and book is another clear suggestion of what we were just saying. So there's a new change, a new path. And the thing about the book at the end is that there are some unknowns, so you don't know the full picture of what you're getting into, but it's very encouraging from these cards, and you definitely want to at least give it a chance. So it could be a new love, it could be a new relationship, it could be some activity that is inspiring, and really it opens up into a lovely direction. So these are some really nice cards, Virgo. I hope it materializes for you in this way. The context is flexible. Who this person is flexible. It could be someone you meet at work or in your personal life or in some other context. I feel it's more on the feeling side. There's a lot of sweet feeling cards, the heart with the star and moon. The child in and of itself is like a card of innocence. So that's possible, but it's still going to remain flexible. After all, there's lots of you Virgos out there, and there's definitely going to be a variety of scenarios. So you let me know how this played out for you, if you met someone or if someone helped you go in a new direction, what this new direction was about, and hopefully you're taking steps to move in it. Very beautiful, very sweet cards. Let me know how it plays out. So very best of luck with this, Virgo. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Libra, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Libra, here is your hourglass, and there's a bunch of things going on here, a lot of different cards. We have the beautiful message comes from the sun, which is one of the brightest cards of the deck, and it's in the middle line, and it's on the right side of the hourglass. At the same time, we have a challenging set of cards with the whip and clouds, possibly the coffin, and also the fox. So there can be quite a transition here. And what clearly stands out in your hourglass is that you are going to go through an ending and a beginning. So we've got the coffin in the middle and the child on the right-hand side. So the coffin and sun is a happy ending. So not all endings are challenging. A lot of endings are positive. You could have completed a project, you could have achieved something, and it's time to wrap it up and move on. And you could also be happily released from a situation. The coffin and sun could also suggest taking a break and recovering and just, taking time out for yourself for feeling good again. So a really nice set of cards. Now, the stork and child is also a new beginning. The stork is about change and the child is about the new stuff in a very literal way. So this really confirms and supports the coffin and sun. I have to say also, Libra, that the stork and child is the classic and traditional combination for a pregnancy. So if this is something that you're after, or perhaps it affects your life on some level or in some way, then this could be a very beautiful message. Now, the whip and clouds is a challenging pair. There can be issues, differences, problems that come up, and also they are confusing. So they cause things to be more complicated, and it's like dust is raised up into the air and there's lack of clarity. So there can be a challenge that comes up, and it probably needs to be figured out. Now, the stork with the tree and clouds is, again, these changes that are happening, and the tree is very much a card of growth. So when we see it with the stork, it typically suggests an improvement, a growth, a step up. It could be something like a promotion or, growing, expanding, and things like that. So in the process, there are complications. So there could be growing pains. There could be challenges with this new beginning and with the changes. And the thing about the tree is that it asks for patience and slowness. So there is a lot of momentum through the stork and child. There is possibly urgency through the whip, but certainly with the coffin and tree, and also with the fox, it's wise, Libra, to slow down and process the changes. So take it easy and sit back a little bit, or take a step back in order to get more clarity around this transition. Now, the whip and fox into the child, this is quite an interesting triplet. The whip and fox are challenging. The whip is challenging. The fox can be a deceptive card. So we could be looking at a trap that is played out, falling for something, or someone who tries to compromise and sabotage you. But on the other side here, we have the child, which points to a new beginning and which tells us that you're going to overcome this. So you might fall for it. It might affect you, but you'll be quick to turn the page on it, Libra. Now, another sense comes from the fox, which is jobs and employment. And so you could be turning the page on a current job or project and moving on to a new one. And it sounds like this is welcome to you, Libra. Maybe you had been struggling with your current position or your current situation, and now there's an opportunity to make a change. So that is a possibility, but the fox can apply in different contexts with the challenges that we just mentioned. Now, the stork and whip is, again, another challenging pair. Any card with the whip is going to be a bit difficult. The stork points to changes, but also the need to act on things and to be even aggressive, like it demands energy and, a sense of dealing with things in a straightforward way. The tree and fox is quite opposite, so it sort of puts a stop a little bit to the energy of the stork and whip. They are quieter cards that call for wisdom, and they call for planning and having a proper vision and having foresight. And then with the clouds and child, there is this new beginning that is materializing, but again, the clouds being a card of complications, and also it is the card of thoughts and thinking. It's important that you plan things and you slow down. So there's a lot of momentum to change and to turn into a new beginning, Libra, but you can't immediately jump into it, not within the week. It's very good news and you're very excited about this, but it comes with complications. So take a step back and slow down and figure things out before you dive straight into this new beginning. But overall, these are lovely cards that bring excitement, and hopefully this is a beginning and a change that you're looking forward to. Now, the stork with the coffin and fox, this again is pointing to an ending, and the sun is a welcome card, but again, the clouds shadows it a little bit and suggests that not all is clear just yet to move ahead. And the whip, coffin, and tree is again a slow combination that calls for patience, and then the beautiful sun and child points to this wonderful new beginning. So it's not the easiest of transitions, Libra, but it's definitely welcome. You definitely want this, and it is lined up and it is going to happen, but you can't just immediately move into this new beginning. It's happening. It's opening up. The transition is a bit sticky, it's a bit tricky, and you also need to figure out the steps. So lovely cards, lots of excitement and lots of momentum, but there is like a stop on this to slow you down. It might frustrate you, but it's in your best interest, Libra. Now, when it comes to the context, there are different areas where these cards can apply. It could be a job change like we suggested, but it could be a change in any other area. The thing that we're not really seeing is relationships. So I don't think this is going to be about breakups or changes or people leaving and so on. It is possible, but it's not really captured in the cards. The dynamic is captured in the cards, and like I said, we can apply it to different contexts. So we do give an allowance, for it to apply in relationships if you feel that's what's resonating with you, Libra. So exciting cards, a mix of energies here. Manage it as best you can, Libra, as you look forward to the change and the excitement that comes with that. Let me know how it played out for you, in what context it figured. I'm very curious if you're willing to share. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Scorpio, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you. Okay, Scorpio, here is your hourglass, and the news element stands out on the right-hand side. And there is movement and progress and change. Things are picking up this week. We see this through the Road Rider and Stork, which are kind of central here. Now, the woman in key brings a person into the picture, and the key is a bright card. So this woman, or whoever she represents, brings answers and solutions, and she does hand you over the key that opens up this opportunity. So these are really great cards. The ring and letter, this is a contract, an agreement. Usually this is what it means. So you could have some very good news from this person, and she comes with the understanding or the agreement moving forward. So this door is opening for you, Scorpio. The Rider and Tower can mean a couple of things. It can suggest going after long-term goals, progress over the longer term, and you could also be heading in a direction that is going to unfold over some time. The Tower can also represent things that are official, legal, administrative, and things like that. So you could get some official paperwork coming through. And the Tower can also represent businesses, corporations, those sorts of high-powered environments. So there's some very good news that comes through, and clearly you're on the right track to pursue your goals. The woman with the letter, road and letter, is again confirming this news. It's following up on it, moving forward with it. And the ring, stork, and key is great for a connection or an involvement or some kind of commitment that you're going to get into that materializes for you. So very nice cards. Very straightforward as well. The feedback coming through with the agreement to move forward and picking up from there. The woman and ring is an important relationship and a closer one. The road and stork is very much about change and movement. You could also be making choices and, choosing what you move forward with. And the letter and key is some very good news, definitely news that opens up opportunities. The woman with the rider, stork into the letter, tower and letter is similar to what we read so far. There's feedback, there's forward movement, there's progress. Things are picking up with this news, and you're able to act on it. The ring and rider is a bit like the ring and letter. There is an understanding here. And with the road, tower, and key, you're definitely moving forward with this opportunity. So these are really nice cards, Scorpio. They bring answers. They bring the green light. You're able to move forward. The feedback is what you want, and things are picking up, and you can move ahead. You could get an acceptance, you could get an agreement, you could get a contract, you could hear back from a person. They're really good cards to help move things forward. And it can be about a personal relationship. In this sense, there's activity and positive connections here and a positive way forward with this person. So there's communication, there's understanding, there's agreement, there's progress, and there's also activity. It's quite an active set of cards. So in any context, whether this is work related, something official, legal, administrative, it could be in any other context of your life, even personal. The cards are great for positive feedback, the green light, and moving ahead. And a straightforward set of cards. So let me know what you make of this, Scorpio. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Let me know in what context they played out for you, who this woman is, and what this agreement was. I look forward to your insights and your perspective. So very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Sagittarius, here is your hourglass. It's looking bright and happy. We have the clover and flowers. These are lovely cards, very happy and optimistic. And we have the moon and ship, which are positive, and the house is also quite bright. We do have the bird. The bird can be a bit anxious. And when we see it with the cross, there can be an important conversation or some important news that comes through. However, the rest of the cards suggest that it works out really nicely. The clover and house is lovely for happiness at home, a sense of security. It's also a nice combination for any location, any context. It could be at work or in a group that you're part of. You could also be, if you're looking for a space or you're looking for a place, you could find the right one, and you could also have an opportunity to meet with someone. It could be a chance encounter. I say this because we have the dog in the top, and the dog is a card of friends and people. So with the cross, dog, and house, there can be an important meeting with this person, or you have to attend to this person in whatever context, some at home or somewhere with friends, or maybe at work with colleagues. Now, the ship and moon is beautiful. This is definitely an invitation, and it's an opportunity to go places, to explore. So definitely go for this. And it can be about an invitation of this person, from this person, with this person, and hanging out with them. The clover with the flowers and bird is beautiful. This is a lovely triplet for happiness, a good conversation, some positive interaction here. So you definitely want to go for this invitation. And I suspect, Sagittarius, that because of the cross at the top, which is sometimes a heavy card, and we see it also with the bird at the corners, maybe initially you're not too sure how this will work out with this person. Maybe you feel a bit burdened by it, or you're not really, in the mood. But it does work out nicely. So go for it. Enjoy this person's company. Explore this context or this group. The cross and clover can be quite lucky. This could be a sign or something a bit like fortune related. You could get an opportunity, so go for it. And also go with your hunch. Maybe that could also be coming through here. The dog and flowers is lovely. This is a friendly person. It could be flirting, and it could be creative collaborations and things like that. So you definitely want to give this at least a chance. And the house and bird can be a few things. Normally, I take the house and bird to suggest an announcement. It can be that, but I don't think it's that. I think it's more about getting together with this person, the interaction with them, and you're probably going to be busy, so it could be quite active. So these are great cards for a relationship and having fun with friends or a specific person. They're also great for dating, getting to know this person, flirting. And they're great for collaborative projects, interacting with others and, pursuing your projects and creativity with the help of others, or in collaboration with others, or an inspiration that could come from others. So it is quite social. It might not be social on a very big scale, but a few people or one person comes into the picture, and the cards definitely encourage you, Sagittarius, to enjoy this collaboration and spend time together, because it feels good. First of all, there are positive vibes, and it also aligns with your project. So give it a chance, like we see here. Go with it and give it a chance and see what you make of it. Now we could read the diagonals as well. The cross, ship, and flowers into the moon and house. This is definitely accepting an invitation and spending time together, and also working on these projects together or enjoying the interaction. And the clover with the ship, dog, moon, and bird is great for a conversation, an invitation. And I think here you could be exploring, the opportunities, just because of the way the cards sort of open up a little bit the potential. So you could be discussing options, opportunities with this person, exploring what could be done. So be open-minded about this. Again, I feel, Sagittarius, that initially you might not be so inclined, but the cards encourage you to give it a chance, and I think you'll find that you enjoy it and that it's a bubbly time and a fun time together. So let me know in what context this figures, if it was personal, at work, or in some other projects, because it's looking kind of fun, honestly, and hopefully it works out for you and you enjoy it. As always, I look forward to your feedback, Sagittarius. Very best of luck with the week. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you. Okay, Capricorn, here is your hourglass. It's looking pretty fun and active. We have the mouse, which is a bit challenging, but it's easily overcome by everything else. There is a news element, communication element, because we have the book and the bird, and actually the mouse can mean that you maybe didn't hear back, or you were waiting on some contact or communication. But the clover and ship are very bright. They can point to travel and trips and going places, but they're also great for encouraging you to move ahead, to explore, and to pursue your projects, because it's quite a productive pair. Now the tower and bird can mean a couple of things. The tower is often a card of the past and the long term, and the bird is about communication. So you could have been waiting on some news or waiting to hear back, and this probably finally happens. The tower can also represent offices, government, corporations, businesses, and so on. So maybe you've got a meeting with someone, and it could make you a little bit nervous, because the bird is sometimes about anxiety. And the mouse and woman could be the person you're meeting with. So the mouse is not great. It's a bit challenging. It's not very dramatic. It's not the end of the world. It is a bit annoying. So there can be a bit of a not the greatest of vibes with this person. But again, keep in mind your clover and ship. You're gonna move past this, and it's gonna be fine. The tower with the book and woman, again, could be referring to this person whom you need to be in touch with, have a conversation with. The book is often a card of mysteries and things that are closed off. So it sounds like you had been waiting to hear back from this person. This could also be a combination for education and learning. She could be a mentor, she could be a teacher, or she could be someone who could guide you, so you could go for this meeting and see if you can get some good ideas. Now, the mouse with the heart and bird is lovely, and I think I'm broadening a little bit what I initially saw from the cards. Maybe you have something that is weighing on you, Capricorn. You're feeling a bit heavy-hearted, or you have a bit of a heartache and you want to talk about it. So she could be a helpful person to open up to. And back to the initial scenario, you could still have that conversation even if you don't have that 100% positive vibe. The tower and mouse sounds like things were dragging, or you're experiencing some challenges, and it could be something that had been stretched out over time, or maybe it's in relation to whatever the tower represents. Like we said, official things, legal things, government offices, certain bureaucracies probably, and also work and corporations. The book and heart is very much about keeping your feelings inside. Often it suggests that feelings are unrevealed, but the woman and bird is about a conversation. So the columns here really suggests this idea of an opening up and sharing feelings with someone. That's a scenario. If it's not that scenario, then you could be having doubts or, having maybe communication issues with a person, but it still works out. So again, the mouse is not a huge deal. It's really not much. You just get over the little annoyances and you move forward. And again, we have this lovely pair in the middle telling us that the conversation works out, you're able to be in touch, and you're able to move forward. The Tower with the Clover heart, ship, and woman. This is the brightest line in your hourglass. It's very reassuring. It's a very warm combination. It tells us that you're able to progress and move forward with this person. The Mouse with the Clover, book, ship, and bird is another suggestion to open up and express. And you could have been worried about this, but you don't need to worry so much about this, Capricorn. The Clover can often suggest, the Clover is a card of luck, so it tends to help overcome challenges. And it often tells you that those negative thoughts, they're not as dramatic as you think they are. So lighten up and reach out to this person, or, welcome the conversation, and you'll find that it gives you good momentum. Now, the cards are quite flexible in terms of context, and I have to say that these past 2 weeks, the readings have been pretty open in terms of context, but quite focused in terms of dynamic. And so the context can be any context. Maybe this is about work. You're following up on an opportunity. Maybe it's personal, your contact with a person. Maybe it's something legal, or, you're working through some kind of procedure and now you've got some good feedback. And maybe you're traveling. Maybe you're applying for visas, or, you're putting together the plan and it's been a bit delayed, or maybe there were some issues that you're able to rectify and move ahead with. So these are great cards for activity, for moving forward, for getting good feedback. And don't worry about the little issues, Capricorn, you soon overcome them. So let me know how this played out for you. I look forward to your thoughts as always. Very best of luck with this. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Okay, Aquarius, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and let's see what is in store for you this week. Okay, Aquarius, here is your hourglass. People are in the picture. We have the man, and we have the house, and we have the letter. So the letter is about news. The house is about a space, usually home, family, or, closer groups. And of course, the man represents a person. We have a bit of a challenging situation with the clouds and mouse. They are a little bit challenging. They bring confusion. But what is lovely is the beautiful sun at the end of the line on the right-hand side of the hourglass. And the sun is one of the most powerfully positive cards of the deck. And it certainly brings clarity, especially in this order. So the man and sun, this is great for a relationship. It sounds like a really nice person. At the same time, we have the top row here with the mouse and road. So there can be maybe some differences or some issues that come up that you need to sort through. The letter and road is about news, maybe an invitation, or maybe some choices, options that you're working through. And so this is what you could be debating or thinking about, which is clear in the middle row. We have the moon and clouds. So the clouds often brings out the shadow aspects of the moon, the dark side. So you could be having doubts, or there can be some inner thoughts or some, like a bit of an inner debate that you're having, Aquarius. But certainly with the sun on the other side here, you're going to be able to clarify your thoughts, clarify your feelings, make a decision, and move forward. So like I said, the man with the mouse and road is a bit bumpy. So you could be going maybe in separate directions, or maybe you're not in total agreement on some issues. And it could be that the connection has a few challenges. I have to say though, Aquarius, that the mouse is really not that dramatic, and that if you're willing to work with the issues while they're small, things are going to be fine. It's just that there are a few bumps here. On the other hand, the letter, house, and sun is very bright. This is wonderful news. It's probably an invitation. And it's probably a very positive announcement. So there's very good progress, and there's a wonderful opportunity or very good feedback. The man and letter suggests that there's contact with this person. This is what it's all about. The mouse and house suggest some issues. Again, we're seeing maybe an environment where there's a bit of tension, or not everyone is on the same page. But the road and sun clearly helps through this, and whatever the issues are, they're easily overcome, and you're able to move forward in a very bright direction. So actually, my feeling, Aquarius, is that these little issues that come up, they're opportunities. They're opportunities to become clearer about the path ahead, to rectify any differences, to bring out what needs to be dealt with. And once that's done, it's like there's a lot of freedom and release, and you're happily moving forward on this path. Now, I have to say that the cards are flexible, like so many readings this week for sure, and also in the previous week. The cards are really bringing up a dynamic and not so much a context. So the context is flexible. It could be a personal relationship where maybe you initially had doubts, you were in touch, but you're going to be in touch and things work out nicely. It could be an offer of work or any kind of offer. And maybe here you could be negotiating some aspects. And so this dynamic applies in different contexts. We're not really seeing money. We're not really seeing, really mainly money, not so much health either. So I think these are the main areas that could come through. But regardless, Capricorn, we have relationships in every area of our life. So it might be money, it might be family, it could be in any context. The idea is that there are some issues that come up, but they're ironed out and you're able to move forward. And you could get an opportunity, you could have the luxury of choice as well. And you resolve your questions or your doubts and you move forward in a very positive direction. The man with the moon and house into the clouds and road, this invitation or this opportunity or get together, it does bring up the issues, just like we saw with the mouse. But as we saw many times, on the other side here, we have the sun. So it's going to clarify whatever the issues are. So again, we're seeing this invitation. The letter and moon is definitely an invitation or a proposal. And the mouse and clouds can mean that you negotiated, or maybe some things about it are not great and you need to figure them out, and you do. And so you do, and you're able to move forward. So these are great cards, Aquarius. Don't give up on this. Negotiate, talk things out, think about things, and focus on the good of it all, because I think you will soon be able to embrace it and move forward with it. So let me know what you make of this, Aquarius. Let me know who this person was, what the invite was about, what were the doubts that you had, and how you resolved them. As always, I look forward to your thoughts and feedback. Very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself. Hello Pisces, welcome to your weekly reading. Let's draw your hourglass and see what is in store for you this week. Okay Pisces, here is your hourglass. It's pretty lovely. We have the key that stands out as a bright card. We see it with the child, which is a new beginning. So it's quite active and inspiring. The only card that's a little bit off is the mouse, and it's not that big of a deal. It just brings a few challenges. With the heart, the mouse can be a bit of a heartache or some doubts, or maybe something is getting to you in a more personal way. And maybe you're resolving how you feel about something. But all the cards around the middle pair here is really bright. So when we look at the ship and child, you're going somewhere new, you're going in a new direction. This is exciting. And the moon and key is great for an offer or an invitation. This is definitely an opportunity. So just from the corner cards, something new is happening and it's looking pretty empowering and exciting. The ship with the lily and key is great for your work, your career, your ambitions. You're on the right track. You could achieve something significant, and you could be pursuing something significant as well. So these are really nice cards. And the moon with the cross and child points to a new phase. So the moon and, the new beginning is like a new phase of the moon, so a new phase. And the cross points to something significant. Along with the lily and key, they highlight the importance of this. And maybe that's why there's the heart and mouse in the middle, Pisces, because it's a big deal. So you could be feeling a bit like challenged by this, how you feel about this emotionally, in the face of this important new beginning. The ship and moon is an invitation. There is an expansive energy here, so we're seeing this broadening effect. And the lily and cross brings a more serious factor, a more serious energy to the whole situation, because the lily is your career, but also your life as a whole, and the cross is often associated with important things, deeper things that affect your destiny. So you could be looking at some decisions here that affect your work, your career, your direction in general. And certainly with the key and child, we're looking at an opening and opportunity. So you could get a really good opportunity here to move into a new direction. And again, it comes with a bit of weight and heaviness because it sounds like it's a big deal. Now the ship with the heart, key, mouse, heart crossed, mouse and key. This again highlighting the importance of things, and the key easily resolving any doubts of the mouse. So you definitely want to pursue the things you want. You want to follow your heart to some extent with the heart and a cross, and you want to also bear with the change and bear with I feel there are some mixed emotions here, or there are some, like the change affects your life, and there could be some different priorities that come up. So it could weigh on you a little bit, but you certainly find the right way forward. And in all cases, there is this opportunity. And the moon with the heart and lily, mouse and child is similar. This is definitely something that you want. This is a beautiful triplet here, very much in alignment with your goals and your life. It's just that the new beginning here, it is a bit challenge. So the transition is not easy. And the lily with the mouse can mean that there are some adjustments to make. So this is exciting, Pisces. You're in for a new beginning, a new adventure, a new opportunity. Doors are opening, and it could be quite significant. I want to emphasize that. At the same time, maybe this is not the easiest of transitions. And it can come with a bit of a heavy emotion here, but still embrace it. Pisces, this is significant for you, and hopefully you'll soon be on the other side of this. Now, I think this affects your life in a bigger way, but it can also affect your work, your career, your direction in this sense. And I'm not seeing people cards. Yes, the heart is about feelings, but it's not necessarily about people. So I think whatever is happening here, whether it's career, your life path, or your life in general, or something else, I don't feel it's so much focused on people. It's more about you, your direction, this new opportunity, how you feel about it, how you're going to move with it. So let me know in what context this plays out for you, Pisces. I'm quite curious. I certainly hope you resonate with this bright message of a wonderful new beginning. And I'd be really curious to know what that was for you if you're willing to share. So very best of luck with the week. Thank you as always for tuning in. And until next time, take very good care of yourself.